What's up, guys? It's Elia Vijay Nevada back with another video. In this video, I want to talk about how ownership is a form of terrorism. Terrorism is the calculated use of violence or the threat of violence to instill fear and coerce a population or government. It's typically carried out to advance political, religious, or ideological goals. So if we scale down the world to, let's say, a playground and there are a bunch of kids on the playground, what would you call it if I say, hey everyone, just so you know, you can't touch this, and this without my permission? Or you have to give me something in exchange to use it for a limited time. You'd call me a bully, right? Well, when you're an adult, not only do humans, at least I think they're humans, do this with the real earth, but they also add the added level of violence and the threat of violence to instill fear in you and coerce you to not touch and use these things to keep their political regime going. Say Joe Schmo owns this billboard. Now, if someone touches it or puts up an ad without his permission, Mr. Schmo will likely threaten legal action or send police out to get said person, which will result in violence or being physically locked up in a cage for a certain period of time. Mr. Schmo's friends like to call prison. Now, let's take this analogy back to the playground. In the real world, someone or some entity has claimed a little square of this playground, set up their own language, their own customs and norms and holidays, and said, I own this. You can't cross these invisible lines without my permission. You can't touch this playground equipment without my permission, or working tirelessly to exchange coins that I made for you to have for it. And there's no natural law or universal law that backs up what I'm saying right now, other than me telling you I own this, and that's it. That's textbook definition terrorism, my friend. And unfortunately, with the world we live in, most people have been bullied by these bullies to believe that they have no agency to live on this earth with the same access to all of these resources and toys that they have. People have been brainwashed to fear other kids on the playground across the line, told they have dangerous weapons, even though they're just like all the other kids, just grew up in a different place under the same political regime structure. So ownership is literally terrorism. I can't think of a better analogy than the playground example, because that mental frame simplifies the earth and all the natural world down to a much more manageable chunk than you can imagine in your mind, and realize how stupid it is. Like, you can't ride a dinosaur spring rider without following all the rules that I set for it. And they literally use fear to control you, a key part of the definition of terrorism. They say, well, if you don't follow my rules, someone might ruin it for everyone, so you have to follow me. Now, let's just take this hypothetical. No ownership, everyone uses the spring rider, and say that thing comes true. Someone breaks the spring rider intentionally or unintentionally. Now, if it was intentional, I'm sure that the other kids would have some words for this person or beat them up. If it was unintentional or even intentional, I'm sure that people would do something to rebuild it or find an alternative. But instead, these terrorists in the real world organize their own gangs to say, hey, we're going to protect these resources and whoever owns them. But on the playground dream world, the people, or us in the real world, fix any of these problems ourselves or just leave it the fuck alone. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. That's all for this video.